You have a note out on this subject. Is this enough that they're taking so far? Or is there more coming down the pike?
So that's a fantastic question. They were very careful in their press release to mention that this was an assumption they made to close the books for the quarter. And the assumption they made was the aircraft would go back into service early in Q4. They were very clear that that might not be the case. So if that's not the case, then it's not enough.
What?
And by our calculations, each additional month of delay is about $1 billion in penalties to the airlines, and each quarter of delay is about $1.5 to $2 billion of additional cost in the accounting quantity of the airplane.
Well, exactly, and thus far as I can understand, we don't know how big the bread box is, so to speak, because they say, well, we think we're going to get it back into service in the fourth quarter. Other people think maybe not so fast.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And to their credit, they're very clear about that in the release. And we spoke to the company as well, and they were very clear about that, that when the airplane goes back into service, isn't up to them, it's up to the global regulatory community.
So, Ron, do we have an idea of sort of the airlines and sort of what they want to do with it and how they're going to push back on Boeing and if they're going to need even more comp? I know you said like every quarter, every month you push back, the price tag rises, but what are we hearing from the airlines?
Yeah, of course they're going to want compensation, right? I mean, if you think about it, there's two buckets of compensation here. First, there's the airplanes that were actually taken out of service, right? There's about 390 of those. All right, so they were in service, they had crews, they had a whole cost structure behind them, and they were taken out of service. Those airplanes are very, very expensive for the airlines to just have sitting around because everything was in place. They'll want business interruption insurance, or whatever, not insurance, but business interruption reimbursement for Boeing on that stuff. And if you've listened to what American has said and Southwest has said, those are big numbers. It's kind of like lost revenue, right? So there's that. And then there's the aircraft that haven't been delivered. And on those airplanes, it's kind of like, what is the alternative lift cost to bring some other form of lift into service? And then what's the additional business interruption related to that, right? So, of course, the airlines are going to want to be made whole on it.